about anybody else, but just the whole thing. And someone's like, well, one thing I don't understand, I don't think they're trying to be dicks, but they're saying, I don't understand how a celebrity death makes somebody sad or anything. You didn't know him personally, right?
Right. That is true.
So how does it affect your life? Less songs, sure, but come on, it's just another death. It sucks, but it doesn't really affect anyone but his family and friends. Now, I mean, look.
That's who it affects the most, obviously.
Music is a very powerful thing in the way where
emotional.
It means something to people at different points in their life. Like you have these markers in your life, like these experiences or these events, these things, these rites of passage that happen, you know, something that reminds you of graduating high school. Or,
absolutely.
You know, when you met your wife for the first time.
Or your wedding song.
Yeah, whatever. The music is very powerful that way. And so when you have something that is essentially the soundtrack to somebody's childhood especially, or a band that really spoke to somebody emotionally about whatever they were going through at that particular time, happiness, sadness, anger, whatever, you have an emotional connection. Even though you didn't know that person, you have this emotional connection to their art, to their music.
And it's definitely, for Linkin Park, for us especially, we can track where we were in our lives with each Linkin Park song, album. I was working in Pittsburgh when this album came out, and I was working in Chicago when this album came out.
But that's why people have a connection to the person. And so when Chris Cornell or Scott Weiland or Chester dies, a piece of you, it feels like a piece of you dies. Like it's a part of your childhood. It's a part of your life, your story,
Linkin
the
Park
soundtrack to your life.
They've been relevant for so long. You know, they never are not something huge.
And there are a lot of artists, there's a lot of bands out there who are just not nice people.
Absolutely.
They're dicks, they're full of themselves, they have an ego before their album even comes out. Trust me, I've dealt with a number of them in my 20-plus years working at radio stations and being on the air. People who have been the same people from day one, every person in Linkin Park, everybody in their camp, everybody. Chester, super nice guy. I've had the pleasure of talking to him, interviewing him, and even just hanging with him a number of different times over the years. And they're just always so nice and outgoing and appreciative and humble and everything else.
Definitely.
So you wouldn't on the outside, you know about his history and you know his struggles with addiction over the years or whatever. But like, you know, when you were in that moment with him, he did a really great job of putting a smile on and making it seem like everything was cool. And that's why it's so shocking. And then, of course, I mean, as a parent,
you feel for the family, of course.
We
saw him at the show when he was blowing kisses to his kids, and they were little.
Yeah, my wife was standing right next to his wife and kids, his two young daughters, who are, 6 years old now, when they just did a theater show. At the iHeartRadio Theater. Like, and, you know, just, I don't know. It's just, like, as a parent, as a human being, it's sad. And, I wasn't, like, best friends with a guy.
No, but you can have empathy for the family.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah,
and be sad about
that's why it's sad. I'm also angry. I don't get it. Like, I think it's also a real dick move. Like, suicide in general for me is, like, difficult because you feel bad that a person was that desperate and they were that
like anger
alone.
Was definitely my initial reaction.
And they felt like that was the only way that they can get out. At the same time, I'm angry, and I'm angry on behalf of those kids who now don't have a father and everything else.
Like, so many people depend on you, you know?
Yeah. And that's for them. That's for the kids.
Yeah.
That's for the family. That's for the friends. But still, sucks to lose such a great person, a nice guy, talented person. And everybody's going to miss Chester from Linkin Park. And we'll have a couple more songs throughout the morning that we'll play for you. And there's going to be a lot of things that come out from celebrities and other people who knew them and different things. It'll be out there. And that's that. I don't know how to transition out of that, but
you can't. There is no.